in the world. Secondly, Mr. Biden and his administration is obedient in service to Israel. And this obedience and their unconditional support for whatever the Israelis want has led to something very dangerous. Effectively, what Biden has done, and I think really Biden is a sort of an afterthought. I think it's Blinken and Sullivan and their powerful forces behind them have essentially opened the cage door and let the tiger out. The tiger is called Netanyahu. And the tiger has determined that it must devour everyone and anyone in the neighborhood that it dislikes or considers a threat. We don't know what to do about that. And the reason we don't know what to do about it is that everyone in this government, in Washington in general, lives in fear of the Israel lobby, in fear of what could be done to them here politically if they stand up and say, well, enough's enough. There are limits to our support. There are limits to our tolerance. You know, if Richard Nixon were the president, Eisenhower were the president, I think even someone like LBJ, probably Carter, ultimately would have stood up and said, either you stop what you are doing right now, or we will withdraw our forces, i.e., we'll simply withdraw the naval power in the region. That would ultimately get Mr. Netanyahu's attention. But the Israeli influence and Mr. Netanyahu's personal power and authority at this point is so great that everyone is afraid to contradict him. And so it really doesn't matter what Mr. Blinken says in public. The truth is, Mr. Netanyahu is in control. He's not only in control of his destiny, he controls the destiny of American national power, prestige, and influence in the region.
Is there anyone that is willing to stand up and just say, hey, it's not anti-Israel to talk about taking care of American national security interest, American interest, economic interest even, or all the things you just mentioned? Do you see anybody?
Because we have failed to exercise restraint. We haven't restrained the Israelis. And you're not going to see anything happen in Washington. Everyone
they're all bought and sold. It seems like they've got some dirt on like every member of Congress or something. They really seem to be in the tank no matter what the cost for Israel.
Well, remember the lobby, and Professor Mearsheimer and his colleague wrote a book, Waltz, about the Israel lobby. And one of the things that people don't understand is that lobby, and they're not the only ones, by the way. There are other lobbies that operate this way. The pharmaceutical lobbies do business this way. The defense lobbies are similar. We want to support you, Congressman so-and-so, Senator so-and-so. We'd like to give you this money that will go into your political action committee to help reelect you. But if you're not going to support us, well, we'll just go over here to your opponent and he'll get all the money. And so you're in a tough position sitting on the Hill. Everyone worries in Congress all the time about reelection. Senators are there for 6 years. It's a different kettle of fish. But if you're only there for 2 years, you spend probably 50% of your time or more trying to beef up your reelection campaign, because the next thing you know, it's reelection time. So they never really stop campaigning, and they never really stop hunting for money. It's a terrible system. It doesn't work. That's why it's all back.